Now, one of my favorite places in the gorge is the view from Pont du Galetas. You get a view of the dramatic cliffs contrasted.
This how the water looks for real? Yo, what's going on, you guys? Today we have the top 25 places to visit in France. France is one place I would love to visit. You know, I love to visit Paris, of course, and the other spot I love to visit is Nice. I would love to visit those two places in France. So, and again, one more thing. I think I said this in a prior video. My mother is actually from Haiti, and my dad also is from Haiti. So I can speak French a little bit, just a little bit. I could say, yeah, ma mère et mon père sont haïtiens. Je veux voyager à Paris et Nice bientôt. Yeah, so I could speak French a little bit. Je parle français un peu, pas beaucoup, mais un peu. Yeah, so I speak just a little bit. You know, if you speaking French to me, I could kind of understand a little bit, and I know Haitian French and the actual French is actually maybe a little different, and correct me in that if I'm wrong, of course. But yeah, you know, I could dabble a little bit. I could do a little something. If you're speaking slow enough, I could understand. But before we even get to the video, let me tell you guys this. We started this channel so we can get to know you guys better. We started this channel so we can get to know you guys' culture, get to know you guys' lives, you guys' dislikes, you guys' food, you guys' beautiful nature, all of that. That's why we started this channel. So if you could leave a like, that would be great. If you can comment, that would be amazing. If you could subscribe, that would be even better. So please like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get to the video.
Guys, my name is Ryan, and I recently returned from traveling around France, and I want to share with you my favorite clothes.
I'm actually very excited for this video too, because man, I know France is beautiful, and
So here's my France top 25. After visiting France, it's easy to see why it's the most visited country in the world. Wow. It's home to endless history, enchanting towns, and the tower.
Man, if you guys know me, you guys know I love greenery. If it's green, I love it. So hopefully we have a lot of beautiful nature here. Hopefully we have a lot of nice green, man, just a whole lot of beauty. That's what I'm waiting for.
To the chic French Riviera, France is waiting to be experienced. Let's start this video off at Étretat, located about a 3-hour drive from Paris. This was the first place I went to when I got to France. The main reason I wanted to come here was to witness the impressive sea cliffs.
Come on, guys, let's take this in. This is beautiful. This is gorgeous.
When we reached Étretat, we walked through the beautiful coastal town and arrived at the beach. They had this nice pebblestone sand, and you could get a view of the cliffs. I mean, they were freaking huge, a lot bigger than I expected. Now, after we decided to walk on top of the cliffs, we strolled along the beautiful boardwalk and made it to the top. My favorite features of the cliffs are the sea arches. There are 3 of them, and I also like the pointed sea stack called l'Aiguille. After a bit, sea fog started to roll in and gave the area such a different feel. It was just so much fun being on top of those cliffs. If you can, I recommend staying until sunset. The sun will hit the cliffs perfectly, lighting them up with an orange glow. Afterwards, we're going to visit the island of Corsica. Located right above the island of Sardinia, Corsica is this massive island full of so many diverse landscapes. It's home to jagged mountains and some of France's best coastline. Now, one of my favorite spots on the island is Bonifacio. It's this medieval town built upon these limestone cliffs. It's nicknamed the Mediterranean Sentinel. Now, it's located right in the most southern point of the island. Nearby, there are some more incredible white cliffs with crystal clear waters. Another one of my favorite spots in Corsica is the Calanques de Piana. There are these sharp red cliffs that dive into the sea. They have such a distinct color, and there's a windy road that drives right
on. What? Just imagine yourself driving to that on that road, and you have this beautiful sunset in the back. I see it. Don't worry, I see it. You have this. Oh man, these mountains. Oh my goodness, this is beautiful. Thank you guys for recommending this video. Actually, this is beautiful.
There's also some incredible beaches in the area, such as Plague de Busaglia. Afterwards, we're going to visit the French Alps. Now this is easily one of my favorite regions in all of France. It's home to the incredibly massive Mont Blanc, which is the highest mountain in all the Alps at 4,807 meters. Mont Blanc doesn't have the most prominent peak compared to other mountains, but it's just hard to comprehend how huge this mountain is. Now the town located at the base of Mont Blanc is Chamonix. It's a hub for some of Europe's.
One thing I've seen from watching the UK videos, from watching other places videos, like when people here travel, they always go to the capital. You know, you always go to Paris, Paris, right? But it's like there's so much more to do from watching these videos. That's what I realized. There's so much more to do outside of the capitals. You know, outside of London, like London, outside of the main places on these countries. It's just way more beautiful in other places, and the other spots of that country, man. That's one thing I realized, and it's beautiful.
And hikes. I really enjoyed walking around the town. It reminded me of a French Zermatt. Now, one thing you gotta do while you're there is take the gondola to l'Aiguille du Midi. Now, to get there, you can take a 20-minute cable car ride, which holds the road record for the highest vertical ascent by a cable car, with an altitude gain of over 2,807 meters. It costs about 69 euros for a round trip.
What is that in feet?
To the top. Now, while I was there, it was extremely packed. I think there was like some holiday going on, so just plan accordingly. You'll take 2 lifts up. I mean, just wild how steep it is. Now, when you reach the top, you'll be at an elevation of 3,843 meters. You can definitely feel the shortness of oxygen in your lungs. When you get off the lift, you'll walk through this labyrinth of tunnels carved straight out of the granite. There's tons of walkways and platforms to explore. You'll get an excellent view of Mont Blanc and the other mountains. Now, one thing I thought was crazy is that there's a place where the mountaineers exit to either go hike to Mont Blanc or just explore the glacier. L'Aiguille du Midi was such an incredible experience, and definitely the highlight of our time in the French Alps. Now, when you get back to Chamonix, another thing you can do is take the train to Mer de Glace. You can get a Mont Blanc multifast for about 83 euros. This will both let you take the train and the lift to l'Aiguille du Midi. Now, the train winds up the mountain, and you get some great views along the way. Sit on the left-hand side, get the best views. Now, when you reach the top, you'll be able to see the Mer de Glace. It's the second largest glacier in all of Europe. I mean, what's sad is when you look at pictures of over 150 years ago, and you see how much this glacier has shrank. Regardless, the whole area is breathtaking. You'll get views of the surrounding mountains. They're just like so jagged. I've never seen anything like them. There's also a restaurant and hotel up top. Afterwards, we're gonna visit the nearby city of Annecy.
Man, when I go to France, I know the food gonna be the food gonna be so good.
Now, located at the foot of the Alps, about an hour's drive from Chamonix, this alpine town is famous for its canals, hence it's called the Venice of the Alps. Now, the city is just absolutely magical, but what I love about the region is the Lake Annecy. It's surrounded by scenic mountains, and it's known as one of the cleanest lakes in all of Europe. I mean, I can't think of a better place to enjoy on a hot summer day. One of the crowning features of the area is the Chateau de Menton Saint Bernard. The first fortress was built here around 1,000 years ago, and today it stands as one of the most impressive castles in all the Alps. We decided to explore it. It cost about 11 euros to enter. I was just astonished by the size of it and how well the castle was.
Question, do you guys have a lot of castles over there in France also? I know the UK just have, because from one of my other videos I asked how many castles is there, and you guys answered me saying like maybe 4,000 around that number. So do you guys have a lot of castles in France also? Tell me in the comments, please.
There was a massive courtyard with perfectly laid stones. The chateau's interior was just as impressive. It's just wild to think people lived in such luxury hundreds of years ago. I mean, I can't imagine what it must have been like to live there back then. After the Alps, we're going to head over to the Alsace region. Now, located in eastern France, bordering Germany and Switzerland. The Alsace region is famous for its fairy tale cities.
I'm not gonna lie, man. When I go to UK, I'm just gonna have to do the whole... I have to go to France, Germany. I'm just gonna have to do a Euro tour.
And rich history. Over the centuries, the region has alternated between French and German control, and today it represents a mix of those cultures. The capital of Alsace is Strasbourg. It's home to the formal seat of the European Parliament. Another enchanting city in the region is Colmar.
These houses are so iconic.
The cities, you can experience the Alsace wine route. It's a 170-kilometer long route that passes through some of France's greatest wine country and picturesque towns. One of my favorites is the quaint village of Riquier. It's believed to be the village that inspired the town from Beauty and the Beast. Even if you don't drink wine like me, it's impossible to not fall in love with this region of France. After, we're going to France's capital of Paris. Now, since the 17th century, Paris has been Europe's major center of finance, diplomacy, fashion, and the arts. Paris is one of the world's most visited cities, and with all its attractions and fascinating history, it's easy to see why. Paris's most recognizable attraction is the Eiffel Tower. It was built in 1889 for the World's Fair. The Eiffel Tower is 324 meters high, which made it the tallest man-made structure in the world till 1930. Another popular attraction is the Louvre Museum. It's the world's largest art museum, and it's home to Da Vinci's Mona Lisa. You can also take a drive around the Arc de Triomphe or walk the grounds of the Palace of Versailles. And there's just so much to see in this grand city. Now, after, we're going to visit the Loire Valley. Now, located in central France, about a 2-hour drive from Paris, this has to be the chateau capital of the world. It's home to over 300 French castles. Now, if you're wondering why there are so many chateaus here, it's because of the combination of location, fertile grounds, and the competition amongst kings and royals that brought so many castles here. One of the most famous chateaus is Chambord. It's the largest in the valley, and its estate is as big as Paris. It's rumored that Leonardo da Vinci helped design it. It took over 28 years to build and was finished in 1547. Now, from above, you can see its perfectly square moat that was built to protect the castle. It's truly a mind-blowing piece of architecture. Now, another one of my favorites is the Chateau de Chenonceau. Built in the early 16th century, what's wild about this chateau is it's built upon a river. I love all the arches. It's definitely one of the most beautiful buildings in all of France. After, we're going to head down to southern France to the French Riviera. Now, located on the southeast corner of France, I have to say that the French Riviera is home to some of the world's best coastline. One stunning city on the French Riviera is Menton.
Come on.
Strikingly beautiful with its colorful buildings, complemented with a backdrop of the maritime Alps. We stayed several days here, and I really enjoyed just walking around the city. Menton was a part of Italy until 1860, when it and the rest of Nice County was added to France. There's a great boardwalk that walks along the coast, and I really enjoyed going out to the lighthouse pier to get panoramic views of Menton. Now, afterwards, we're going to visit the medieval town of Eze. Now, located on a hilltop tower looking over the French Riviera, I have to say this was easily the coolest medieval place.
Come on, look at this view, guys. Bro, standing right here, like somewhere here or here, and looking over this shore, looking over this water. Oh my goodness, guys, man. I don't know about you guys, but I love stuff like that. I love nature. I love all of it.
In my time in southern France. It was only a short 30-minute drive from Menton. Now, Eze was founded during the Middle Ages around the 14th century, and today it is known worldwide for its medieval vibe and views of the French Riviera. When we were there, we parked in a parking lot at the base of Eze and then walked up the winding stairs and cobblestone paths through the village. You really feel like you're walking back in time. Everything is so old, yet it's perfectly preserved, and the village is just full of like these tunnel walkways and trees that were just built around. Truly is such a cool.
That's why I love Europe also, man. It's like you guys have so much history there, man. So much history, and that's one of the reasons I love it, and that's another reason why I loved outside of the nature. Obviously, that's another reason I would love to visit, because there's history everywhere.
Now, one of the main features of the village is the exotic garden. It's this beautiful place that sits on top of the village. It not only has beautiful plants and cactuses, but it offers one of the best views of the French Riviera. It's definitely worth the hike and €6 entry fee. Now, afterwards, we're going to head over to Nice. Now, as the capital of the maritime Alps.
Nice is one place I've been wanting to go to for a while now. Let's see what he got to say about it.
It's the department of France. Nice is the second largest city on the French Riviera after Marseille. Now, if you're flying to the French Riviera, this is probably the best airport to come to. I didn't really spend any much time here. I didn't really feel like walking around the city. I do regret not checking out. So if you're in the French Riviera, definitely give Nice a visit. Now, another prominent nearby resort town is Cannes. Now, it's located about 40 minutes drive from Nice. Like many places along the French Riviera, Cannes is associated with the rich and famous and hosts the annual Cannes Film Festival. Now, just outside of Cannes is some of the most beautiful coastline on the French Riviera. It's called the Esterel, and it's these red rock cliffs that dive into the sea. Now, I was talking to a local on the beach, and he told me that this was his favorite place on the Riviera, so I had to go check it out. The coastline is part of the Esterel Massif.
Like, all of this is just so beautiful. My goodness. Oh, man. Guys, I'm gonna have to go to Europe. I'm gonna have to go to Europe and spend a good amount of time in Europe, man. Because, oh, man, there's stuff to see, there's stuff to experience, and there's food to eat over there.
From Cannes to Saint-Raphael. Now, it's full of hidden coves, red rock islands, and secluded beaches. I love just driving along the coastline and parking in its many lookout points and just exploring the coast. I highly recommend visiting here. Now, one really cool place I visited in the area is Cap Boutremont. Now, the reason I wanted to go here is because there's this little island with a medieval-looking watchtower on it. It was constructed in the 20th century and is believed to be the inspiration behind the Black Island in the Adventures of Tintin. And it just looks so scenic coupled with the red coastline. I mean, there's a really nice beach there, and the water is perfect for freediving. Such an enjoyable place. Now, afterwards, we're going to visit the town of Saint-Tropez. So this is one of my favorite towns I visited on the French Riviera. Saint-Tropez is located about an hour-and-a-half drive from Nice. Now, Saint-Tropez grew as a fishing village and military stronghold until the 20th century, and it was the first town to be liberated on the French Riviera during World War II. In the 1960s, Saint-Tropez started gaining popularity amongst jet-setters, and today it's renowned for its beaches, nightlife, and yachts. Now, the main part of Saint-Tropez is pretty small, but I love just walking around its streets and alleyways. There was this path that walks along the coast, and it was just really nice to explore. All in all, Saint-Tropez is a really beautiful town, and I understand why it's so popular. Now, afterwards, we're going to visit Cassis. Now, I think this was my favorite place we visited in southern France. We stayed several days here. I'm just so glad we did. It's a seaside town with that classic French chic charm. Now, Cassis is overlooked by Cap Canaille, which is home to the highest sea cliffs in all of France with a height of 394 meters. Now, there's a great beach in Cassis, overlooked by a castle. I mean, I just love walking around the harbor, looking at all the boats, up to the lighthouse at the end of the harbor, and just relax and enjoy the sounds of the sea. Now, one of the main reasons I wanted to go to Cassis and just southern France in general was to visit the Calanques. Now, there are these incredible sea coves surrounded by dotted cliffs and crystal clear waters. The one I really wanted to go to is Calanques d'Anvou. Hope I said that right. Now, there's several ways to get here. You can either take a boat, kayak, or hike in. Now, on our first day there, we rented a little boat from the harbor in Cassis and headed out to the Calanques. Now, the views on the way were just absolutely incredible. Now, one downside about the boat is
this stuff, though, man, for me, all I could do is watch. All I could do is look, because I can't go in that water, man. I can't swim. Hey, to my defense, I am planning on taking swimming lessons sometime soon. I don't know when. Although the water's so beautiful, I can't do nothing about it. All I could do is look at it.
Land on the beach, you can only drive like halfway through and then it's roped off. But if you do rent a kayak or a paddleboard, you can take it to the beach, which I definitely recommend if you can handle the long paddle. Now, we went in as far as we could in the Calanques and then turned around after we just kept exploring the coastline, heading west as we relaxed in this other Calanque with some just really unique cliffs and rock formations. It was such a phenomenal area. Now, the next day, I really wanted to go to the beach in the Calanques d'Anvou, so we decided to do a hike. Now, the hike was about 7 kilometers long, and it had this one steep descent to get to the beach. Nothing you can't handle. Now, once we reached the beach, I mean, it was really an amazing sight. The steep white cliffs coupled with the greens of the pines and blues of the water were just amazing. Now, the beach was a decent size with a lot of smooth pebbles. We went for a swim, and the water was just so...
That's a unique beach. You don't see... Yeah, the way it is, you don't see a lot of beaches like that. Surrounded by 2 mountains like that. Well, yeah, you know what I mean.
The size with a lot of smooth pebbles. We went for a swim and the water was just so freaking clear. I wanted to find a cliff jump spot, so after swimming down the cove, I found this rock about 7 meters high and did a few jumps off of it. I mean, there's truly no better feeling than cliff jumping into the Mediterranean. Definitely was one of my favorite places we went, and a perfect place to end our time at the Côte d'Azur. While we're still in southern France, we're going to visit the Verdon Gorge. Now, located about a 2 hours drive from Nice, the Verdon Gorge is one of the most impressive canyons in all of France. Now, one of my favorite places in the gorge is the view from Pont du Galetas. You get a view of the dramatic cliff contrasted.
This how the water looks for real? Oh man, I have to learn how to swim.
With the strikingly blue water. Now, while you're there, you can rent a boat or paddleboard and explore the gorge. You can also drive on top and get some more phenomenal views. After, let's head over to the medieval fortress of Carcassonne. Now, when I imagine medieval Europe, I don't think there's a better place that exemplifies it better than this fortified city. Located in southern France, Carcassonne began as a Roman fortified hilltop and was given to the Visigoths in the 5th century, who continued to fortify and build the city. Throughout the centuries, Carcassonne proved to be an impregnable fortress as army after army failed to overtake the protected city. Today, the city consists of 53 towers that are protected by its 2 outer walls. It remains as one of Europe's greatest medieval gems. Afterwards, we're going to head over to the Pyrenees Mountains. Now, straddling both France and Spain, the Pyrenees are a mountain range that separates the Iberian Peninsula from the rest of Europe. Now, one of the most impressive places in the Pyrenees is the Cercle du Caverne. It's this dramatic glacial bowl with waterfalls descending its cliffs. Another cool place is Lac d'Ailloux. It's a nice 2-hour hike to the lake and has incredible views of the mountains. After, we're going to visit the region of Brittany. Now, located on the northwestern tip of France, Brittany is full of rugged beaches and countless lighthouses. One thing that is particularly fascinating about Brittany is its presence of megalithic monuments. There are thousands of stones scattered around the region, ranging from ancient tombs to single-standing stones that were arranged by Neolithic people over 7,000 years ago. It was just pretty interesting if you ask me. Now, aside from the ancient megaliths, Brittany is home to some stunning coastal towns. One of my favorites is Les Conques. It's an ideal maritime city with a picturesque harbor. One of the highlights of the area is the Clermont Lighthouse, which is such a beautiful setting. Now, for our final destination, we're going to visit Mont Saint-Michel. I have to say, this was probably my favorite place I visited in France. This place was just truly magical. Now, to get there, it's a 4-hour drive from Paris. When we arrived, we checked into our Airbnb and made the long walk to Mont Saint-Michel. Now, you can't drive directly to the tidal island. Instead, you can park in the parking lots outside and either take a shuttle or walk about 4 kilometers. Now, I definitely recommend walking if you can. As you approach the island, it's quite an experience. So it just made me think of how
I can't wait to go, bro.
About the ages as they came here. I mean, just truly something out of a fantasy film. And when you reach the island and walk through the gates, you feel like you're walking into a Harry Potter movie. It was as if I was walking down Diagon Alley. Now, we had such a good time walking through the winding alleyways and marveling at all the details. The Abbey is the crowning feature of the island. Its construction began in the 10th century and was added onto throughout the ages. Now, due to its strategic position and dangerous changing tides, the Abbey and the rest of the island remained protected throughout history. Now, around sunset, the tide started to come in. I was amazed by how fast the water levels were rising. I mean, I understand now why it was so dangerous for the medieval pilgrims to walk to the island. Now, on our way back, we met up with some sheep in the fields. I mean, truly it was a special experience and one of my favorite memories from my time in France. Now, the next day, we woke up to see Mont Saint-Michel for sunrise. On our way back, we ran into a herd of sheep storming through the streets on their way to eat some morning grass. I mean, definitely it was the perfect way to end our time at Mont Saint-Michel. Well, that is it for my France top 25. Wow. I'm barely scratching the surface, so be expecting a part 2 coming soon. Let me know where your favorite place is in the comments below. I also started a Spanish channel. If you prefer to watch my videos in Espanol, I did a video on France you might enjoy. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok.
Wow, this video was amazing, man. This video was amazing. It was really breathtaking to see the views, to see the clear water. Man, my favorite has to be the last one. Like the Mont, tell me if I'm saying it right. Mont Saint-Michel. And which one was it? Hold up 1 second. And this right here. Cause I can't believe this is real. The water. My goodness. Pont du Galetas. Man, this is beautiful, man. Like France is surely is beautiful. Those two spots are like I have to go to them and I have to learn how to swim so I could actually enjoy it. Guys, thank you for recommending this video. Thank you for watching. Please continue to subscribe, continue to like, and continue to comment. Man, I'll see you in the next one.